What is denied by everyone, but is actually 100% real? 93% of children who were molested by somebody they personally know and trust, not stranger danger. Also, children who were sex trafficked are very rarely white children abducted in public with rich, loving families who would have the entire country looking for them. A lot of conspiracy theorists refuse to acknowledge that poor minority children in bad communities, and especially undocumented children, are the biggest victims. Just how real family dysfunction is in so many cases. So many people just turn a blind eye to it. You can do absolutely everything right and still fail. It can't get any worse. Here's a little news flash for you, buddy. It can always get worse. The most evil, powerful people are actually supported and encouraged by everyday good people, quote unquote. If it is happening to somebody else, it can happen to you. Your mental and or physical health could crap the bed at random. You could do everything right and it may not matter. Things like cancer don't discriminate. Not saying you shouldn't take care of yourself, just that sometimes it isn't fair. Double standards are in almost everything. Parents do have a favorite child. That their job is secure and they'll never be let go. I made it through multiple layoffs, including during the pandemic, only to be laid off last week. Thankfully, I had already updated my resume and had started looking, but no job is ever 100% secure, no matter what. Americans already pool money for healthcare. They just do it through a wholly unnecessary greedy middleman that grossly jacks up the price and denies care. The worst thing you can imagine happening to you can happen to you. One deer in the way and now I've lost the person I love the most. It can happen, no matter how bad. It can happen to you. Rampant physical and medical abuse in mental health facilities. As a mentally ill person, the narrator saying here, I can confirm. I've been in mental facilities before and oh boy, they are terrible. Oh my god. Sometimes your teacher does actually hate you, regardless of what your parents say. You don't have to be a bad person to end up in prison. And not all prisoners are guilty. Exercise and drinking water really does help mental health. Being lonely can be a silent killer, especially when you have mental health issues. People who you have loved and cherished for years won't understand you or care about you. You just have to make peace with it. We are not the main character. Everyone has similar shit going on. Everyone has their own challenges and don't even know you exist. The world doesn't revolve around you. You're a tiny blip in existence. People tend to treat you based on attractiveness. They like to say they don't, but it's simply not true. Money doesn't buy happiness. Watch me leave IKEA full of a joy with a 100 centimeter plus shark. I love my blowhage. Everything fades. They actually do put stuff in the water that makes the frogs gay. Okay, technically it's not making them gay, it's making them hermaphrodites. It's a pesticide called astrazine. And for those who don't know, hermaphrodites mean they have both gendered parts. They have a wee-wee and a hole. That's basically what that is. I think it is, at least. The full impact of pretty privilege. Being overweight as a woman or being short or balding as a man doesn't just impact your dating chances. They impact your treatment in the workplace, how strangers react to you, random acts of kindness by others, even dumb crap like the niceties you get by checking out at the grocery store. And it's also incredibly sensitive. I'm thin, but can see a difference in how others treat me within a range of 5 to 7 pounds. It's maddening. As somebody who's only 25 and is already balding and has lumps all over my head, 'cause bad genetics, I guess, I can confirm this. It's just so annoying. If you're enjoying the story so far, remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment with your own stories below. I even have a comic dub channel if you want to check it out. Now let's get back to the stories. You are never as smart as you think you are. That they pick their nose and pee in the shower. Cynicism feels way smarter than it actually is. That this subreddit that I find these questions and answers to read on are just a full-on repeat of the same questions. r/askreddit do be like that. Deaths are common, slow and steady or quick and sudden, but one way or another it lands at our doorstep. Most of us live as if we're above it or it won't happen to us. Most people live in a made-up fantasy world where they are the main character. Other people can have an experience that you don't understand. You having felt sad once doesn't mean you understand what it's like to be depressed. Your occasional knee pain doesn't mean you understand my rheumatoid arthritis. You having COVID doesn't mean you know what I experienced when I had COVID. Have enough humility to recognize the limits of your own experiences. Going through 9 months of an uneventful pregnancy, only to find out their heartbeat stopped out of nowhere. You're not always guaranteed to have a healthy baby. Marijuana addiction is a thing. Getting angry with other drivers when roads are crowded and you complain about all the traffic. My brother in Christ, you are the traffic. The negative effects of alcohol, not on the individual, but on the societal level. Just look up fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. Think of traits you don't like in people and go compare. I'm convinced a significant percentage of parents regret having kids at all, and they might not even admit it to their partners. Everyone is susceptible to depression. It doesn't matter how happy you are, or how insensitive or dismissive you are of people who haven't had it. It could get you too. The majority of poor people are poor due to things that are not their fault. Pretty privilege happens, even in your own family. Caffeine addiction is the largest drug addiction in the world. Narrator here. I say it plenty of times, the only drugs I take are prescription and my soda. I'm trying to drop the soda, but it's hard. Under the water, fish don't stink. That there are no dumb questions. Mental health is a luxury. We're not at the worst point in history things have ever been. We're simply more informed about how rotten things are than we ever have been before. There's a percentage of society who are irredeemable, and no amount of Disney magic will actually ever make them see the error of their ways. So you're not going to get any satisfaction out of trying to burn those people, because that would require them to act or think in ways that don't directly benefit them. And their brains will not allow that to happen. All you will ever get is pure frustration for yourself. This is why every psychologist in America, when you ask them how to deal with a narcissist, will tell you the best and only way to deal with them is to cut them out of your life, and if you can't, then keep them at arm's length and set hard boundaries, and do not let them cross those boundaries without doing exactly what you said you would. If you give a narcissist wiggle room, they will use that against you. Some parents don't love their kids. Having a favorite child. Parents will never say there's a favorite. We love all three of you equally, but we all know they have a favorite. Not everyone denies this, but we don't know the long term effects of multiple COVID infections, so it shouldn't be written off as mild. You can get sucked into a cult. We are all subject to propaganda. Pretty privilege. That Reddit is social media, and it's just as damaging and as addictive as TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. By the way, if you're on YouTube, check out my other videos. I'm totally not perpetuating the cycle here. Oh no, oh whoa. We are not as good as we think we are. Though frowned upon, it's okay to call your toddler an asshole. Ageism can be from any age to any age, and it ruins relationships and harms everyone. And yes, that includes the OK Boomer stuff. How close a lot of Americans are to homelessness. Stop judging and looking down on them. You're a few rainy days from being in their position. All current legislation that's popular in the media right now is about controlling poor people, not protecting the public. Guns, drugs, prostitutions, abortions, naughty content, so on. They're all legally accessible if you have enough money. It's about keeping poor people poor and under control. Santa existing. I just know that jolly fucker's out there somewhere. Alexa or Google or something is listening and tracking us. I keep telling my husband this is true, that it can't be a coincidence, but he won't believe me. For example, I was just mindlessly talking about McConaughey to my husband one night. Then poof, the next day on my YouTube feed, Interstellar shows up. I have never watched anything from Matt McConaughey on YouTube in my life. I have so many instances of this happening, it can't be a coincidence. There is always a good thing that comes from a bad thing. Sometimes things just suck. The universe doesn't care about your misery, and not every adversity makes you stronger. Opinions can be wrong. I'm looking at you, Twitter. How you get them is how you lose them. If someone cheats with their partner to be with you, and then leaves them for you, they'll cheat on you and leave you. If you admit you have feelings for a person in a relationship, they end the relationship to be with you. They'll leave you when someone else admits their feelings. Many people are only as faithful as their options. Each and everyone's greed is precisely why our world is as cruddy as it is right now. And honestly, 99% of people don't care about humanity as a whole. They only care about it if it's mentioned or talked about in a discussion. Otherwise, they'd rather do something else. The color indigo in the rainbow. I wouldn't say denied, but pretty privileged. You name the fashion nightmare, it will come back into fashion. Entitlement is a mental illness. Superman shouldn't fly. I know there's all that blah 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 about him being from a planet where gravity is 100 times stronger than Earth's, but he should just jump up very high, not flat out fly. And he also shouldn't stop in the air and change direction, unless he had a jet thruster built into his suit. Having a healthy relationship with yourself before having a relationship with a partner. Just because you had a bad upbringing doesn't mean you can't make good decisions in life. Personally, Mr. Narrator here really needed to hear that one. Teachers have a favorite student, just like parents have a favorite child. Also, teachers actually expect more from the favorite student, not less. If we see that you can perform the monologue, build the diorama to perfection, or write the essay brilliantly, we expect nothing less. It's unfair, but it's true. Everyone? Meaninglessness. There's no particular reason why things are the way they are, but we need to believe in something in order to function, or we just lay down till we died. Females commit SA and DV. Men can be victims of them. It is not rare. We're in a freaking recession. Just because companies are making profits doesn't mean the consumer economy isn't literally on fire. Corporate profits do not equal consumer profits. Outside of natural events, things usually only happen or are allowed to happen because they benefit wealthy or powerful people. Also, most really big things that happen are outside of humanity's control. The super rich are and have been waging a class war against the rest of the world, and are eroding every positive thing about our lives slowly and systematically. One day, not so far off, we will be slaves by another name. You need to actually poison your own data pool by aggregating a honeypot scam email account with a bunch of known false information into it for your public-facing profiles. Everything everyone has ever and will ever do is done for a reason. There is no person did something for absolutely no reason. You may not understand their logic, or their logic may be faulty, but they did have a reason for doing it. Even young children, drunk people, or people with severe mental illnesses have a reason for what they do, even if they can't articulate it or even understand it themselves. Also, quite often, when someone insists someone did something for no reason, there is a damn good reason they're aware of to some degree. Such as, that bouncer threw me out of the bar for no reason. Then, when telling you about what happened, they'll casually mention was, all I did was flirt with the bar staff, when they actually tried groping them. Working around bars, you hear this all the time. You'll see someone harassing people, then when confronted, it's suddenly for no reason, and they're the victim. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you all enjoyed the stories I had for you. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment with your own stories below, and maybe check out the Reddit playlist where I have plenty of Reddit stories for you, full of entitled people, I don't work here stories, nuclear revenge, all that good stuff. I will see you all next time. Hasta la pasta.